All right, back talking with Army veteran coach Craig Mulligan with Soldiers to Sidelines. So, Craig, you mentioned high human skills, and oftentimes on the podcast, in reference to transition and veterans in going into the civilian sector, we talk about veterans have really good soft skills versus hard skills like those, the college degree, the MBA, the Six Sigma, the certifications, all that stuff. The soft skills are they're not as tangible. They don't translate onto a resume oftentimes. It's mostly things like leadership and all those great things we learned over the years in the military. So talk to me, the term you used, high human skills, probably another variation or term for soft skills. So talk to me about the high human skills.
So high human skills is a phrase that I picked up from Harrison when I went through the seminar with them, with Soldiers to Sidelines. And it's the phrase they use. I believe it grounds the skills more around the human interaction than it does, result consequence kind of perspective that a lot of people have when it comes to, okay, should I say this? Should I not say this? It's less about whether or not something should be said, and it's more about how you say it, the words that you use, and what kind of impact are you trying to leave on somebody. So when we consider that in our personal interaction, Soldiers to Sidelines, we call that high human skills. The art of inspiring somebody to be and do what they want to do because they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we choose to look at it as coaches.
Yeah.
So the ability to leverage military skills into kids is super important because they're in these transformational ages of their lives, whether it's adolescence, prepubescence, or even younger if you're a youth football coach.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to model and exemplify the values that we believe are conducive to good culture, good team atmosphere. It's on us, just like it was when we were ranking NCO or commanding officer.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there is a seminar coming up, Soldiers to Sidelines seminar, another one coming up at the New York Jets training facility. First of all, when is that? And how would somebody go about getting signed up for it if they're interested? And then I want you to talk about what takes place during one of the seminars.
So as far as the exact date, I'd have to check the website again. But any veterans that are interested, soldierstosidelines.org.
Right.
Again, that's soldierstosidelines.org. They can go to that website. It'll be listed on the pull-down tab on their events portion. You can get registered for the event, find out a lot about the event right there on the website. So kind of a breakdown for the seminar. I was really surprised. I was expecting, heavy doses of X's and O's, and you do get that. But you really do get that. It's mind-blowing the amount of knowledge that, it's in those coaches' rooms. But the most important aspect, they spend the first day and a half really on defining what inspiration is, defining what culture is, how the coach and the player create this constant dynamic that continually influences each other throughout the course of a season, and how do we maintain that dynamic always trending towards the positive regardless of circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what Soldiers Sidelines mission is about, and then they qualify the skills later, and it's really awesome.
And most of the seminars, is it typically like in a classroom environment? Or are you out there in the field? Is it more organized speakers?
So they bring in some organized speakers. They bring in speakers from the military. I think when I was going through the New York Jets facility for their seminar last year, we had the interim head coach from Rutgers come and break down kind of his QB read system that they were using for the run game. He also brought in Greg Williams, who is the defensive coordinator for the Jets that year, in to speak with us. His son, the D-line coach, we got to learn a lot about, 0-point contact line technique and how they transition the biomechanics of shin angles into power into the offensive lineman. It was humbling to see just how in-depth and scientific their approach was and we get that a lot when we think of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And Soldiers of Sidelines is, through the New York Jets was emphasizing, yeah, X's and O's, knowing all this knowledge is great, but can you teach? And can you create this motivation within the team to keep learning
Mm-hmm.
regardless of outcome? I think they did a good job, showing the juxtaposition between the two sides of coaching and making sure that everyone that goes to this seminar knows that, much like the military, there's a lot of pride. There's a strong sense of brotherhood and family. But that also, it's a way of life. It's a calling. It's not a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's the definite truth of the matter.
Now, were most of the other guys going through the seminar with you? Were they all military?
Every single one was military.
Uh-huh.
I actually asked, if my wife could attend, and he said, well, if she has a DD-214, she can come into the room with us, but if not, she's got to go find something fun to do. So,
That's awesome. So, and then from some of the other guys that have gone through the Soldiers to Sidelines program, um, what's been their experience as far as, like, I don't want to say necessarily job placement, but coaching opportunity placement around the country? It sounds like they've got a fairly decent network of people to plug their folks into, and sounds like they've got a pretty good reputation already where they can get in some of those doors that you as an individual who's trying to promote your coaching skills may not be able to get into on your own.
my experience has really been extraordinary. When I told Soldiers of Sidelines that I was, moving from the Seattle area down back home to California, which is like 1,000-mile move, one of the first things they asked me was, you got everything you need, and do we need to call anybody to make sure that you can coach when you get down there? So ensuring that their alumni, their soldier coaches are gainfully employed through the duration of their career is definitely a priority. That's been my experience. I've talked to a few of the guys that have been around, a few years longer than me.
Mm-hmm.
That was 100% their experience as well. What you see is what you get. I know sometimes, it's not always the case, but with Soldiers of Sidelines, that has always been the case with me. I think that they are definitely a company worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah. Do you keep in touch with some of the other guys you went through the seminar with?
Yeah, we have a Facebook group that we all are a part of. It's the Soldiers of Sidelines alumni group.
Mm-hmm.
And we share news articles, job openings. We share a lot of material with each other on there when we have time. We're all busy, careers, family, so guys post when they can. It's nice to have that community, especially, for me, if I have career questions and I don't feel comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
going to somebody that I don't know as well. I have a veteran community that's in my exact same industry.
Yeah.
It's bringing another barrel to the fight, and I always appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't experienced it before, you might not realize how powerful of an organization that is, because they've already got the network and connections pretty much across the country and coaching jobs. And if they don't know somebody, they probably know someone who does. Like you said, even like, hey, I'm moving back down to Southern California, and yeah, they already know people there. Um, at least
Yeah.
something to get your foot in the door and to get started on an initial coaching job if you end up relocating like that. So um, there, that's almost indispensable. I mean, there's a lot of other careers and fields you can be in, and there's not really something like that exists where, if you're an accountant, or let's, for example, and now you're relocating, there's not like an accounting organization that will help plug you in, plug you into a job when you get
No,
to your new town. So, and
not,
this
not that
network
I know
is
of. No.
big. Yeah. So now most of the folks that are involved in running the program, are they all ex-military? It's a combination of military and coaches.
I see a lot of former military entering and becoming a part of this organization at an increasing rate. I know that's really what Harrison wants. He's expressed that not only in what he embodies, but also in how he has, guided Soldiers of Sidelines along its course. He's definitely committed to incorporating, military aspects into his organization and former personnel. He loves it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. And can you talk a little bit about how well received veterans who have gone through the seminar and veterans that are presenting themselves as soldiers that got out and they're ready to start coaching? How are they being received through this program on the civilian side, where oftentimes you may have a high school or a college coaching team that none of them are veterans that are there right now, and you, the veteran, may be the only veteran showing up?
It's different. It's definitely different, and the places that I've coached, PLU especially, I was the new kid on the block, but I had the old man mentality,
Mm-hmm.
from from the military. So
Plenty of experience
sometimes it
being
was
the
a
new
little
guy. Yeah.
sometimes it was a little off-putting, I think, because they didn't quite know, which Coach Craig they were going to get. The young, motivated, energetic, rallying cry Coach Craig, or just the quiet, taking notes in the back Coach Craig. And it was fun. It was definitely one thing the military definitely prepared me for was becoming a subject matter expert in something very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
when previously maybe I did not have a lot of experience with it. And
Yeah.
in football, that is a key skill set. I think with a lot of sports that, have multi-layered tactical decision-making processes, that's a key aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to adapt, being able to adjust. And I think that is what Soldiers of Sidelines is really building its brand on. In fact, they're banking on it. Can these soldiers adapt and adjust to civilian life by keeping the core critical skill sets they've learned and adapting those to a new environment?
Yeah.
So
And
I think
so, aside from the seminars, what else is Soldiers to Sidelines doing? I noticed on the website, I think there may have been a blog and even a podcast. What are some of the other things they're doing for ongoing training and to further the program along?
they actually have a development program that you can enroll in and be a part of. I'm sorry, after the seminar is over. And what they do is they teach you the more nuanced skill sets that a lot of new coaches and a lot of high school coaches I haven't really even seen do. And I'm talking, they call it padding game film, where you go through an entire football game and you have a play card for, every play for the whole game. And the play card's detailed. It's like a range card, when
Huh.
you're shooting at the range. But we do it every single play. And then we build our data, our game plan, and a lot of what we account for and adjust for based on that. It's our intel. The parallels from military and football are crazy similar.
Mhm.
And I really feel the development program is an extension of that.
Yeah.
This is the process. This is the workup. This is everything you do in training before you actually get to play with the big boys. And,
Yeah.
I found with our workup to deployment, it was much the same way.
Yeah. And so if somebody's interested in getting involved in coaching when they get out of the military, the soldiers to sidelines.org website, can they just go on there and put their name in or try to contact through there, and that's where they can get started and try to get in one of the seminars to begin with?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they go straight to the website. There's a pull down menu. They should see like the mission, about, contact us, right? Then there's also events.
Mhm.
Now they click on the events, it'll take them to seminars that are coming up. And I'd like everyone to know that it's not just football. They give seminars for lacrosse, they give seminars for basketball, for volleyball, for strength training. So I really feel that, Harrison's a football guy. He played in the NFL. That was kind of their foothold into athletics and coaching, and now they're just really expanding. And I'm excited. So you go to the website, go to events, get registered, see what it's about. I don't think that there's a coach out there that'll walk away disappointed.
Awesome. Well, hey, appreciate you sharing your story. I do want to give you the last word. We're about out of time. If you're talking to somebody that's about to get out, or they're already in the midst of their transition, not really sure what they're looking to do, trying to find that next sense of purpose, what kind of advice would you have for them?
If you don't use the resources given to you during your ACAT process when you're getting out, find some time, go to your local VFW, your local American Legion, and go there and just say, hey, can you guys point me in the right direction? There are too many organizations out there for other veterans to make some of the same early mistakes that I made when I was
Mhm.
first getting out. Get connected, ask the right questions, and make educated decisions.
Outstanding. And, now that you mentioned that, there's thousands of organizations out there just chomping at the bit to help veterans getting out.
And,
And oftentimes,
and I
sometimes they're
just,
hard to find. Sometimes they're hard to
yeah,
find, but usually it's going to be up to that veteran to find them. It's just going to be up to the veteran to go looking. It's up to the veteran to ask. You got to ask for help. You got to put yourself in front of people and get out there and meet and greet and make those contacts. It's not, no one's going to just come along and give it to you.
that's very true. And like with Soldiers of Sidelines, sometimes all we got to do is show up and just be who we are,
Mm-hmm.
and show up and be available for anything that come our way, good or bad.
Right. Right. Well, hey, Craig, good luck in your coaching ventures, and stay in touch with us. Good luck down there in Southern California with the new move. And um, I know, I don't think you mentioned it, but your coaching career was dramatically affected by the whole COVID thing this year. So hopefully
Yeah,
we'll get back, everything will get back to normal next year and have more of a normal football season.
it'll happen. Until then, just perfecting my craft and educating myself as much as possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. I appreciate you sharing your story, and good luck to you, and look forward to your future success.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. All right. Keep doing the good stuff. All right. These two veterans are Oscar Mike.